Hey there, so today I'm going to cover Black Hole Studio Edition. That is what this is. This is a phenomenal thing, too. In fact, if you look at it and you think, man, I don't like that, then lie in the comments. No, I'm just playing. Seriously, though, this is, for me, it's like catching a unicorn in the wild or finding out, Little Debbie's actually been stashing crack in those snack foods all along. This thing is one of those masterpieces or one of those secrets I just can't look away from. The size of this thing is enormous. You see these over here? These are comic books. That's what this thing is. This all told weighs 10.6 pounds. That's what the box said anyhow. I've not actually weighed it out myself, but looking at it here, you can see that. This is the cover of the book. This is a comic book I'm reaching over to get. So this is the first comic book. You could tell the difference there. I mean, look at the size of it. It's not just blowing something up either. That would be kind of absurd. What this is high resolution scanning of the original source material. This is, again, the studio edition of it. The whole book is not here, so I don't know why that is. I imagine Charles Burns probably has gotten rid of some of the pictures after a while. This thing is a cultural phenomenon, though. This was actually covered in college. I remember picking this up when I was just out and about back when. It took Charles Burns years to put this thing together because it had that extraordinary delay. It made Image look timely, if you want to go with that. But still, it was worth it. 12-issue run, and it was making a point about STDs at the time. This is a disease that causes mutations in this small town, and we follow the lives of people. It may not sound like the most amazing feat, but man, it is an engrossing tale. And the way that it's told, the way Charles Burns writes characters, it's one of my favorite stories. It's one of the best things I think I've ever read, and that is high praise. So looking at this, you can see the original comic here versus what we've gotten. I mean, look at that. That is beautiful. Like I say, you can see the ink staining and whatnot with the finished product, but that is I mean, the level of detail in his stuff is just absolutely astounding. I'm going to compare panels here too, so you can really look at that. And with the finished product, I'm actually very impressed by what Charles Burns brings to that table. I'm trying to get this first page up. There we go. Now look at this panel here. Now this panel, again, you can see the size of the overall panels. Like I say, considering that this is canvas piecing, I mean, look at the inking and whatnot. It is an incredible feat that he pulls off here. But here is the original comic book. Now, when you're looking at details, I love going over something like this and seeing, his eye for detail, his composition and coloring. And you can see how, when it's put together, there were certain details that are really hard to make out. Like when I look at the frog's leg, for example, I just think that everything here, it is a beautiful book. I could spend all day recording this and me going through it. Of course, people would probably tune out for a while as I blathered on, but still, I don't think I would care. You can see his use of imagery, though. It's very sublime the way he does it. And you can see his corrections. Like you can see that in there. That is not actually a hole in my page. I would freak out if it was. I would literally freak out. I'd probably scream. But no. But you can, like I say, you can see the level of detail. Look at his inking too. I mean, it is amazing. Can you imagine all the time spent on this book? No wonder it was delayed though. But you can see his corrections on faces. Like you can see one there. So you can see what he did when he was going through this book. You can see also the detail work in certain items when he's putting it together. And this story, again, it's amazing. This is not a complete story here, though, just a note. But it does showcase, if you are a fan of that, if you love this work, I mean, it's here. Know that, however, what you're going to get into, because you're going to pay $150 for this thing. It's not cheap. Look at that. That's how much I like Charles Burns. I'm willing to drop $150 on this. This is actually, instead of buying Image Comics right now, this is what I decided to buy. And it was well worth it. Look at that detail there. I mean, I thought his trees looked amazing, when we were actually looking at different perspectives. He has a good eye for perspective. I've always found, like, his overall image. But, I mean, when you think about this as an art sheet, when it's turned in, and you look at the level of detail, I could say it's just engrossing. His mutations as well are very interesting, too. You can see, like that, finding a skin sheet somebody finds. Look at the level of detail with that. I think he's one of the most talented people at doing stuff like this. It's a girl's skin, you know. There were moles, childhood scars, a map of some girl's life, a girl I'd never know. He's thinking something terrible has transpired. You know, when we're going through here, so we see the mutation. And when you look at it at this level, when you look at the detail of that, I mean, it is, like I say, it's amazing the level of detail that he captures in his imagery. This book, it's pretty much like that, you know. It's like that through and through. Now, if you're a big fan of Charles Burns' work, this is something that you would enjoy. If you're not, then, you know, obviously you're not going to spend $150 on it. But like I say, the symbolism in a lot of it it's absolutely wonderful. I cannot say enough about this thing. I'm just trying to show off, to give people an idea of what's there. Look at this. I mean, look at I never noticed the eyes within the heart, for example. You know, and he's having, this is a dream sequence. We have a lot of that. But look at that there. You know, you're getting a weird thing, too, when, you know, you look at some of these different images, how the person's waking up, shedding their skin and whatnot. Like I say, this is a weird type of STD. If you've never read this either, read this freaking story. You know, you don't have to love it, but you better. I'm just playing it again. Seriously, though, this gives you an idea of what's there. Some of these chapters, like I say, they're incomplete, but all in all, still, the behind-the-scenes look that this book provides, I mean, it is magnificent. If you're, you know, some kind of deviant, maybe you could cut it up as well. Although, like, don't tell me about it, please. Don't say, hey, Umbrella Guy, I chopped that giant book up. Because, you know, I might ask for your address so I can, you know, mail you something hateful. You know, I'm playing. But look at that. Oh, man, that's beautiful. Anyway, me and my book, we're going to be alone for a little while. So I wanted to show that to you, though. Again, look at that size. I mean, look at that for comparison. That's amazing. And really, you know, size does matter. All right, thanks.